Keep in mind the plate umpire's responsibility on that play. You're trailing the guy up the line. You're looking for a potential runner's lane interference, but your secondary responsibility is in play, out of play. So you wound up in the middle of the field there, whereas you should have been up on the fence over here, judging whether that ball went under the fence. There are some holes. We saw it happen earlier. So, know the stadium, but also know that it's your responsibility as the plate guy there to cover that play. All right, so the last thing we talked about is your timing. For the last little bit, it's been much better. You were pretty quick before, and I can tell that you're working on it, so keep up the good work. Another thing that I've noticed throughout the game is just you're very quick to come up and want to go somewhere. I think it's important for you to just slow everything down, slow the game down, especially when you're working a game like this where all kinds of stuff is happening. Just take a deep breath. When you call a ball, say ball, and then come up and then relax. There's just a lot of jumpiness. Okay. Good job heading to third baseline extended there. Still taking the mask off with the wrong hand. Something that I just need to get out of the habit of doing. Maybe practice in front of the mirror or find a way to get out of that habit.
Keep head in front of the plate when there's something happening in front of you.
When you have a wild pitch like that, it's important to both keep track of where the ball is in case it gets lodged back here, but also look out, watch the touch of home plate and make sure you know what runners are coming. Plays really tend to explode if you don't know what to expect, so make sure that you're glancing at runners, but also watching the ball. While we're back here, let's take a look at your stance. Looks like you're pretty angled. Shoulders are pointing toward the second baseman. I would definitely not get any more angled than that. In a perfect world, we want your shoulders square to the pitcher. And I think you can fix that by moving that non-slot foot. So in this case, with a right-handed batter, it's your right foot. Moving that right foot up toward the catcher a little bit more. It does look like you're doing a very good job working in the slot. It's the safest place to be, so keep doing that. That was the timing right there, and hopefully we have a little bit of audio on that because you were very close to saying ball before that ball hit his glove. So while you are getting better with strikes and you've been better with some of your ball calls, you really need to monitor the timing. That was a good example there. Coach is calling time. Not a important or crucial situation. Relax. Give a good time signal, but it doesn't have to be, time. It can just be time, and give a good solid signal. Another thing is you never know with these coaches. Try, if you're going to go up a line, try to go up the opposite line of the coach, so that if he wants to say something to you, he has to go out of his way. Because now when he walks back, or you're going to go get him in this case, but if he's walking back by you, he doesn't have to walk that far to say something to you. So just try to get in the habit of going the other way, opposite of the coach. I always make it a point after mound visits never to let the catcher beat me back to the plate. In my umpiring career, I've never had a catcher get to the plate before me. Looks good. Looks like you're moving the game along, so that might be something that you want to add to your repertoire as well. Good job splitting your difference there on the bases. On the plate here, there's no reason to go up to where you were there. That's your spot. You always go there. Step back to the point of the plate. If it turns into a rundown, then you can go and help up there. But that, your first priority is a swipe tag at the plate. There's going to be swipe tags, so try to make sure that you're staying back near the point of the plate so you can react to that. Good reaction to that pop up. Good job running on an angle over there. I would like to see you put the ball in play with your right hand instead of your left hand. Again, no reason to go anywhere there. When that happens, relax, step behind the plate. See, you're walking around all over the place. Okay, the catcher was going to go catch the ball. He'll bring it back to you. He's got to come back. It's just lots of extra movement back here that, it sort of projects a nervousness. And I don't think you're nervous. I just think that you're a little fidgety behind the plate, and I think that it takes away from your confidence and your overall personality on the field. Let's take a look at what you do here.
On that throw to third, Dan, he's also looking in the first base dugout. He sees nothing coming.
At all times, you should be chest to ball at all times. So let's make sure that, no matter whether it's your call, somebody else's call, there's always something happening that you can be watching. Batter could interfere. All right, you're just because you're giving a strike signal and there's a swing and miss, you need to keep your eyes up, especially when something's happening. So, if there's a steal play and you usually point to the side and look to the side, that's a time where when you give your strike signal, you don't want to look to the side. Keep your head forward. Okay, know the other action that's going on and umpire accordingly. I like the in-between inning stuff, letting the batters know how many pitches there are. It's good to get in a routine, so you're doing the same thing to both sides. Like how you're ready with the baseball, encouraging the catcher to leave it. That's all good stuff. So keep that up. That will help you with game times and keeping guys moving. Just be careful it doesn't become too much of a thing. It can come across as you wanting to get out of there, a little arrogant sometimes. It's not on you, not the way that you're doing it today. Just guard against that.
Here we go, guys.
All right, left-handed batter here. Let's see how the stance looks. All right, so with left-handed batters, it looks like you're more squared off. So we'll see it from the side in a second here. But I think when we go over to the side, I think you're going to notice a big difference between your foot positioning with right-handed and left-handed batters. And that could cause you to see some of the pitches differently. So just make sure that you're paying attention and aware of how that is. And again, you should be going up the line here. There's no reason to be in the grass. That ball's up the middle, right up the line, look for pulled feet. And again, as we talked about before, if there's an overthrow, that's your responsibility for in play and out of play. So we need to make sure that we're on the line, and then that way if the ball gets overthrown, you can veer off the line over to the fence. If you're all the way in the middle of the field, you got a lot longer to go.
Going down. There was a car right behind you.
All right, we're over here on the side. Try to see what we can pick up. Looks better on the heel end step on this side, from what I can see. So keep keep working on that and being aware of how close you are to the catcher and how your feet are, because your feet really affect your shoulders. When we get too cockeyed back there, it can turn into having problems seeing over the catcher and being in weird spots, getting blocked out by the batter. So as I said before, you need to have a feel and more of a sense for when to sell your signals and when to be aggressive. Calling time with nobody on base, not really a big deal. So relax with it. That time signal that you just gave is what I would do if a ball went out of play barely, not just to let the catcher go talk to the pitcher. You also like giving the count. I don't mind that in these type of games because it keeps everybody in the game. As you start doing some more competitive games, maybe give it every couple pitches, every 3 pitches instead of every time. If you ever give the count where there's no balls or no strikes, try to give it with both hands anyway. Don't just hold up 2 fingers for 2 balls. Hold up 2-0, hold up 0-2, hold up 3-0. But I hope you can hear how I hope you can hear what I'm talking about with the time signal. You just did it again, and I'm going to stop talking about it here in a second. I just want to make sure that you're aware of how it sounds, and save the aggressiveness for when you need it. Head height looks pretty good. Foot positioning looks all right. It still looks like you still might be a little bit too different with your feet. Okay, square. Bring up that non-slot foot a little bit toward the catcher. Other than that, looks like your stance is solid. Looks like you're in a pretty good spot. Timing's getting a lot better, especially on called strikes. Let's work to match that with your ball calls and with your strike 3 calls and all that good stuff. Getting a little bit better with the timing on strike 3. I would strongly suggest giving the signal with the voice, because it projects a little bit stronger. When you say strike 3, if you're watching from far away or can't hear you for whatever reason, it's tough to tell what if you're being decisive or if you're sure about yourself. So try to come up with a strike 3 signal that the voice is with the signal and the signal is nice and aggressive. And again, consistent timing with your called strike signal, which is getting much better. I see you working hard to check your feet. It's great that you're doing that here, and obviously as you work on what we've been talking about, you'll be able to be more comfortable and won't have to look down at your feet. So you can see yourself checking your feet. We don't want that to become a habit, but again, totally okay here because that's what we're doing. Good job there. Keep up the good work. Again, 3 main things: timing. Okay, that's the big one. That's what I think will help you improve the most. Just focus on your stance. Make sure you're square to the pitcher with your shoulders, feet no farther than heel toe. And other than that, you know, looks like you're working hard. Just try to really relax your demeanor overall. All right, there's lots of unnecessary movement, especially after the ball's hit. So know your responsibilities before the ball's hit, and react accordingly. Good job.